Dear chess friends, we're now only one day away from the epic and immortal World Chess Championship match between Ding Liren and Gukesh, in which Gukesh has the opportunity to become the world's youngest world champion of all times, and China and India are of course the two biggest countries in the world, so this will be a great followed event for sure. I think the chances are 50-50, although Gukesh is maybe having now a better current rating, but don't forget about the fact that Ding Liren is the top grandmaster. He is a great player. He was always a part of the top 2, top 3, top 10 club, always. Now Ding Liren didn't participate maybe in so many great events, but when it comes to classical time format chess, it's I think a guy that you're trying to avoid. He played an outstanding match, of course, against Jan Nepomniachtchi 2 years ago, so I think it's a 50-50 one. And I've been asked now also many times in the comment section who I'm rooting for. I basically don't root for any specific person in any of this event, because I root simply for great chess. I want to see sharp, attacking, brilliant, brutal chess, but probably will not see immediately maybe aggressive chess, because first of all, I think the players will try to do some calm progressive lines, solid lines. Rui Lopez, Italian, Queen's Gambit declined, I don't know, Rago's in defense and similar stuff. But I'm rooting simply for the better player who play better chess should be the winner, who'll take more chances, who take more risks, I think should be the winner. So as I said, if Ding Liren wins maybe with a great result, this will be a deserved win. But if Gukesh of course has also a great game, it will be probably also a deserved win. So I'm rooting simply for a beautiful match between these two top grandmasters. And as a warm-up, again, I've sorted out now a beautiful gameplay by Ding Liren against Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa back from 2024. It was in the Norway chess event, in which a rapid game has been played, in which I think Ding Liren showed here really his great attacking skills and also his great opening preparation. So with white here, Ding opened with the move d4. Praggnanandhaa's response was knight to f6. We have now the Anglo-Indian defense against the English opening. We have now e6, bishop to g2, and now after d5 here, Ding Liren plays a calm knight to f3, waits now black to do something, to make maybe the move d4, or to take maybe with d takes c4. The move d takes c4 would lead more into a Catalan game. It's not the Catalan, but with similar tactical ideas like in the Catalan opening. The move d4 that Praggnanandhaa played now leads now into more of a Benoni structure, but in a reverse way. It's sort of a reverse Benoni that we see, if you're familiar maybe with the pawn structure of the Benoni in the center of the board, when black is having here d6 and c5. Now white is trying to do the same after calcing and c5 here with the move e3. Here Ding Liren is trying to build also this Benoni structure with d3 and c4, like black is playing many times in the reverse way. Here Praggnanandhaa continues with knight to c6, which is perfectly fine. We have now this move d3, and the issue here for black is that you shouldn't take. You can, but it's not such a powerful line. I think after bishop to e3, and I don't know, maybe something like bishop to e7, white would immediately improve this backward pawn. This backward pawn is of course temporarily a weakness, but white can simply improve it immediately. And I think with this beautiful diagonal of the light square bishop, then with some ideas to play a3, b4, knight to c6 and follow up, I think white has a comfortable game. White doesn't have to even calculate so much in the beginning, so that's why taking here on e3 is not such a great idea. So here Praggnanandhaa plays, I think, the correct and calm bishop to e7, e takes d4, c takes d4. Now we have again this Benonish structure, but as we mentioned, in the reverse way. And now black's main progressive plan is somehow to connect now the pawns with e5, and black is continuing with a slightly maybe positional advantage, which is the space advantage now in the center of the board. And now, like in any of this Benonish ideas, we're trying to do here this idea a3, b4 in black's case. When black is playing, of course, the Benoni, black is done trying some ideas like a6 and b5. But first of all, here rook to e1. Ding prevents this move e5 that Praggnanandhaa is preparing. We have now castling and now knight to a3. This is a good move that prepares again this idea to play the move b4. Ding is trying knight to a3, then knight to c2, and then a3, b4, bishop to d2. So he's trying to really do something on this side of the board, and with the support of the light square bishop, this could be a dangerous attack to handle here for Praggnanandhaa. You cannot take here. Bishop to a3 has been played in chess history, but actually it's not so good, I would say. Then you're trying something like bishop to f4. Look at this, you have a great control now of the e5 square. Even if this pawn gets attacked, you don't have to worry. You have always this counter attack with knight to e5, knight takes e5, bishop to e5, and now you can pick up maybe this pawn, but it's more important to take now this central pawn of black's here. Now black has lost all of the advantage that black had in the beginning, the space advantage, and now with the beautiful bishop pair here, obviously white is much better in an open battle. So here after knight to a3, so that's why Praggnanandhaa didn't take the pawn, the knight on a3, played now a calm h6. We have now bishop to f4, bishop to c5, and now knight to c2, knight to d7. Here again, Praggnanandhaa is preparing this e5 go with the move rook to e8. So e5 is still the main progressive plan for black. We have now a3, a5, Praggnanandhaa prevents now here the move b4, and now a good move by Ding, b3, a must move. If you want to make any progress on the queen side, you have to play this move b3. If you play something like rook to b1 in order to prepare b4, then a4, and black would simply neutralize all of the threats on the queen side. If you pass through with b4, will simply play en passant, and then rook to b3. This pawn is weak, and black should be even slightly better here. Not a good continuation, of course, for white. So that's why b3 first, preparing. Now if a4 happens, still you have the flexibility to push the pawn on b4. Anyway, we have now rook to e8, bishop to d2, e5 finally by Pragg, and now b4 finally breaking also here on the queen side. Bishop to d6, c5, bishop to f8, and now rook to c1. Here good control of the queen side by Ding. A takes b4. We have now a takes b4 with the preparation to play the move b5, and now here Praggnanandhaa doesn't react correctly. From this point on, the game becomes really a one-way ticket, but in white's favor, because in order to stay in the game, you have to now find really the best solutions here. The best way for black to proceed is here to play the move knight to f6. And this is very hard to see, especially in faster time formats. It seems so that white wins a pawn after move b5, but it doesn't matter. This is the most important fact here. After knight to a5, notice that the rook is now connected still to the knight on a5. And okay, maybe white can pick up now the pawn on e5, but now you have counterplay with knight to b3, and that's a line that Pragg, unfortunately for him, missed. The rook has to step back, and now you pick up also this pawn on c5, and okay, it's pretty equalish game, but I still love this position from black's perspective, because you're still continuing with your powerful d4 pawn, which causes, of course, here space advantage for black. So this should be, I think, even slightly more playable for black. So very missed opportunity here for Pragg to play this move knight to f6. Instead of this move, he played now the move rook to b8. He tried somehow to compete here on the queen side, but this is not working, because now Ding plays a beautiful knight to a3. Here we have b5, and it's really a mistake, because Ding can play now many tactical shots here. Even if you try something like g6 instead of this move b5, then look at this, we simply play now finally b5, and now you have to give up some material. You pick up this one, we pick up this one, and it's game over here for black. So this is not working. So that's why after knight to a3, Pragg tried b5, and now the real tactical fun starts. So it seems so again that Pragg solved now many positional problems on the queen side, because he somehow managed to stop the pawn chain, the pawn storm that's coming. Whenever you face a majority attack like this, 2 versus 1, then you want to somehow stop these pawns. And if this would be the case, if this position could stay like this, this would be then a perfect setup for black, because you stop the pawns. This knight is well placed, it's controlling this pawn is controlling this one, but now the game is lost tactically here for Prague. And unfortunately for Ding, he missed maybe here immediately a beautiful chance with knight to g5. Knight to g5 is a devastating attack. If look at this, if you pick up this one, then this one is hanging, so this is not working. If you try something, I don't know, knight to a7 to escape from this attack, then you have this tactic: knight takes f7, king to f7, c6. You may be trying to step back, c7. Look at this again, game over here for black. So this was the best move here for Ding, knight to g5. But instead of this move knight to g5, Ding played another great move, knight takes b5. So it's still working, because after rook takes b5, you have then this one, queen to a4. You have to still step back, and then still the knight is hanging here on c6. So that's why after knight to b5, bishop to a6, played by Praggnanandhaa, but now knight to d6 here by Ding, continuing the pressure. Black has to react after bishop to d6 and c takes d6. The c file is open. We have now knight to b4, attacking now the pawn on d3, but now queen to a4. And that's the issue. That's the dirty trap here that Ding prepared. Both of these pieces are now hanging, the bishop on a6 and also now the knight on b4. In order to stay in the game, Prague had to play now knight takes d3, creates of course a fork against both of this rook, but now here Ding wins now 2 pieces for the lost rook, and has now a great and annoying pawn on d6, has now powerful attack on the e file. The bishops are well placed all over the board, they're crossing many diagonals, so now it becomes very unpleasant game here for Praggnanandhaa. Rook to b6, Prague is battling, queen to a3, although maybe here queen to c4 was slightly better, because after rook to d6 you have this idea, bishop to b4, then you step back, then this knight, this bishop is coming into the game, attacking the knight that is the key defender of the e5 square. So this was maybe a more accurate approach, but queen to a3 is still perfectly fine here for Ding. We have now queen to f6, knight to d4. Look at this, Ding is using now this e file problems for Prague. Here Prague takes, but now knight to f3, knight to b6, going for the c4 square, and now bishop to b4, hitting the rook. We have now rook to e6, and now knight to d2, controlling the c4 square and preparing also to hop with the knight on e4. We have queen to g6, knight to e4, we have knight to d5, and now knight to d6. Beautiful attacking flow here by Ding. He creates now many simple threats, which of course occupy now Praggnanandhaa in the continuation of the game. We have now knight to b4, knight takes e8, again a beautiful tactical sequence, and again it seems so that Prague could win some material back, but Ding has calculated everything in a good way. Now comes a beautiful queen to a8, beautiful counterplay, because you cannot take the rook on e1, because you get this one, knight to f6, and it's a checkmate in one. It's a double check. You don't have this h7 score. It's a beautiful really pattern that Ding has prepared. So after queen to a8, we have now king to h7, and now here bishop to e4. Again, a beautiful counter attack here by Ding. Prague is forced now to play the move f5, and now bishop to c2. Although here a better, more accurate approach was to play knight to g7 immediately. Then after something like king to g7, then you can pick up this one, and then you continue with queen to b7, and it's perfectly fine here. After knight to g7, for instance, if you try to pick up this one, then bishop to f5 wins the queen, and again it should be game over here for black. So after bishop to after move f5 here, bishop to c2 by Ding Liren, Prague takes of course, but now queen to d5. Still Prague is continuing with down a piece, has maybe an extra pawn, but this is of course a completely winning endgame here for white. Rook to e5, queen to d4. Here Ding lifts the rook, of course is controlling now the e3 square. Rook to c5, bishop to d1. We have now bishop to e2, rook to d6, and now queen to c5, queen to f6, queen to e3. We have rook to c6, and now h4. Also a good move here by Ding, controlling any g5 stuff here by black. Rook to c2, now h5, controlling again the g6 square, queen to e5, and now an attack, a simple threat against the queen. Prague has to now step back, bishop to f1, we have queen to f7, and now queen to f4. Prague takes, but of course also Ding takes now the pawn on f5, queen to e8, new attack against the queen, queen to c8, and after queen to e4 in this particular position, here Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa resigned, because if you step back here to g8, then you first of all play rook to e8 and you trap the queen. It's even a forced checkmate sequence, but it's the fair resign here by Pragg. So great game by Ding Liren. As I mentioned, his preparation, I think, is really great. His opening preparation is really great, because I think Ding will not deviate too much in his openings against Pragg. He will probably try to do his stuff that he is familiar with, and then he'll try to do some tactical shots, of course, if they're possible. I think tactically, Ding is maybe having a better situation than Gukesh in the World Chess Championship match. We'll see what will happen, but as I mentioned, it's a 50-51. We'll see after 2-3 first rounds who could be the winner. I think even that Ding could win maybe the first game, but it's a long run. 14 games will be played, so it will be a tough battle, but we're of course looking forward to the World Chess Championship match that starts tomorrow. So, okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it a lot. Interesting ideas of this reverse Benoni ideas here by Ding Liren. If you want to see some other commented chess games, here my YouTube chess channel. Here's the link of our playlist. Here we have the commented chess games and also our commented chess games played by computers. And if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. See you soon with some more videos, and what do we say in the end? Chess is the best, of course.